Good day everyone, I am Dharma B. Cervantes from BSHM TV, and for today's video, I am going to discuss this following. So, without further ado, let's start this video and keep on watching guys.
Just like me, it's a good thing.
So what is the importance of telephone exchange? So the telephone is an essential of any modern hotels and communication system. A separate section known as telephone exchange is created in large hotels to handle all transactions pertaining to incoming and outgoing calls, long distance and overseas call processing, wake-up service, information and dissemination, and other related services. This section is usually equipped with a centralized switchboard that is manned and operated by telephone operators who are overseen by a supervisor. Second question, what are the things that you need to consider? These following are the things that we need to consider. So here are the 10 functions of the telephone exchange section that we need to know. So here are the 10 functions of the telephone exchange section that we need to know. Number 1 is respond to all incoming calls, both local and overseas. Number 2, process long distance and overseas call requests of guests if direct dial service is not available. Number 3, coordinate with telephone company operators regarding time and charges for all completed long distance or overseas calls. Number 4, prepare tool charge for every completed call and make the corresponding charge report. Number 5, disseminate correct and vital information about the hotel facilities through the telephone. Number 6, take down and disseminate messages for an in-house guest. Number 7, attend to wake-up call requests of house guests. Number 8, screen all incoming calls of hotel guests and executives. Number 9, coordinate with the servicing telephone company or PLDT in the Philippines in case there is breakdown of hotel trunk lines. And number 10, prepare all required reports. And also, it is important to know what is the Rotary Information Rack. Rotary Information Rack. The telephone exchange make use of a rotary information rack that contains guest names and slips which are arranged alphabetically. Upon check-in of a guest at the front desk, and the clerk makes temporary rack slip, a copy of which is immediately brought up to the telephone exchange. These temporary rack slips are replaced by the permanent room rack slips. Modern hotels make use of computerized guest lists to replace the rack. Upon the guest check-out, the room rack slip or marked check-out is forwarded to the telephone exchange. The chief telephone operator or the telephone operator will carefully look for the guest name in the rotary rack and cross it out with a colored pencil. Just one line is drawn across the name to allow it to remain legible in case of further inquiries. The cross-out slip is removed by the night operators. And also, it is necessary to know the procedures of handling telephone calls and handling wake-up calls. So here are the procedures in handling telephone calls. For example, answering incoming calls. Number 1, bring the handset at least 1/2 inch from the mouth, enough to be heard, identify your hotel, and greet the caller like Crown Royal Hotel, good morning, or good afternoon, this is Crown Hotel. All guest room calls should be answered as follows. Operator, may I help you? Number 2, to connect a call to a guest room or office. First, ask for the name of caller, and then check with the caller if she or he knows the guest room number. If not, refer to the information rack for the guest room number and call the guest. Part of security measures is to check first with the guest if he or she knows the caller and if he or she wants to receive the call. If so, the operator turns over the line to the caller. The guest room number should not be given to the caller. And tell the caller, just a moment, I'll connect you now, or I am ringing the room now. When the name of the guest is not found on the information rack, the operator should never say that the person is not registered. Instead, she advises the caller that she or he will be connected to the front. If there is no response, inform the caller and say, "No one answers in the room," or "Mr. Guest does not answer. Would you like to leave a message?" And number 3, when paging a person, say, "We are still paging Mr. Smith." Next is the handling wake-up calls. Any hotel guest who wishes to avail of wake-up call service shall call the operators directly or may relay the request through the front desk. When the operator receives the wake-up call request, he should clarify with the caller the exact time of wake-up. For example, "May I confirm your request? You want a wake-up call at 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow? Thank you, sir, and good night." Number 2, place the wake-up call in a wake-up call request bulletin starting the name of the requesting guest, room number, and time. This wake-up call bulletin is posted beside the telephone booth for it to be easily read by the operator who will make the wake-up call. Only one wake-up call sheet should be used by the operators. More than one may result in error and unattended wake-up call request. Number 3, the operator will validate the room number against the information rack to make sure they are correct. Number 4, night operator may call the front desk to double-check the name and the room number. There might be room charges or unexpected checkouts since the time the guest made the wake-up request. Number 5, when the operator rings your room for a wake-up call, she should do it graciously by calling the guest by the name as follows, like, "Good morning, Mr. Smith. It is now 5 a.m." There are modern hotels who are now using an electronic wake-up service. The device is programmed with a recorded voice that is heard by the guest. Number 6, if the guest does not answer the wake-up morning call, the operator should request the bellboy or the room boy to knock on the guest room. If there is still no response, the duty manager may enter the room with the emergency key. This is done to check if the request has left or in critical condition. And lastly, number 7, completed wake-up calls are crossed out and the wake-up call sheet or a note is made okay or done under the column remarks. Note that many hotels already employ an automated wake-up call system that are monitored by the telephone exchange or PBC section. The operators have the option to change the message daily to include date and local call weather information. When delivering a personalized wake-up call, the operator should use the guest name when the call fails to reach the occupant after 3 calls. The hotel duty manager should be notified for him to check the status of guests who might be heavily intoxicated or in bad condition. And also, it is important to know the telephone manners for telephone operators and frontliners. Telephone manners for telephone operators and frontliners. Number 1, maintain a pleasing voice personality. The essential ingredients for a pleasing voice personality are: A. Voice. Volume is properly modulated, tone is not harsh, and sounds gracious and friendly. B. Correct phraseology. Courteous words and appropriate phraseologies are used. C. Manner. Considerate, interested, attentive, and accommodating. D. Proper telephone usage for maximum efficiency. Number 2. Use a slightly rising inflection when making a statement. It softens the tone, makes you sound gracious. Number 3, all incoming calls outside the hotel should be answered as follows, like Crown Hotel, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Never say hello as this sound unprofessional. Calls from the house phone or from the guest room should be answered as follows. Operator, may I help you? Number 4, always be ready with pad and pencil for noting down messages. Number 5, when the phone rings, grab the paper and pencil and promptly take down messages or notes. Number 6, after the caller has relayed his inquiry or request, read back to him the notes that you had written to validate the details. The gestures will also make the caller feel that you are paying full attention to his message. Number 7, answer all calls as promptly as possible. If possible, on the first ring, a ringing phone is like someone knocking on one's door. Number 8, lift the receiver only when you are ready to talk. Number 9, while talking with someone nearby and your phone rings, excuse yourself and answer the phone promptly like, "Excuse me sir, I'll just answer the other line." Number 10, maintain friendly and accommodating conversation with guests. Imagine all calls as coming from friends. Be friendly but not over-familiar or too casual. Number 11, speak clearly and distinctly. Speak in a properly modulated tone. The distance between the mouth and the transmitter must be 1/2 inch. Never speak with something in your mouth while smoking, chewing gum, or when eating something. Number 11, when you leave your desk, leave a message as to your whereabouts. Number 13, be helpful and accommodating. When called party is not available, give an encouraging and or specific report. Examples: we expect Mr. Santos in a few minutes. This is Miss Reyes. May I help you? Or, Kumaring is a conference and will be through possible by 11 a.m. Perhaps I can help you, sir. If the earlier would like to speak only with the called party, obtain the caller's name, telephone number, and message. Number 14, in dealing with callers, be attentive to avoid requests for repetition. Never interrupt while the other party is speaking. Indicate your presence on the line with such expression as "see" or "yes, sir." Avoid slang words like "yeah." Speak in the language which you are addressed, English for English. Be friendly but businesslike. Number 15, if you cannot help the caller with some information, explain why. Like, "I'm sorry, I don't have the information. May I transfer you to?" They will be in position to give you the information you need. If you are looking for information, excuse yourself and say, "Ma'am, do you mind holding the line while I check on our live wherewith?" Number 16, be tactful when screening calls. Instead of "Who's this?" or "Who's calling?" say, "May I know who's calling, please?" or "May I tell him who's calling, please?" Number 17. Do not make anyone wait on the line for information which will take long to obtain. This will hinder the caller from having an access to more important calls. Tell them you will call back. Get their number. Number 18. Keep conversation pleasant but brief. No more than 5 minutes including waiting time while obtaining information. Number 19. Be attentive to other requests for repetition. Number 20. While inside the telephone exchange, conversation should be limited to business matters only. Private calls are not allowed. Number 21. Never leave the switchboard unattended. Number 22. Avoid drinking and eating inside the switchboard. And lastly, number 23. Never listen to private conversation on the phone, nor divulge confidential information gathered on the phone. Third question is, who are the possible client or people that you will accommodate? So, the possible client or people that we will accommodate or having a telephone exchange on our telephone operators are those people who are in local or in overseas. So, that's all for today's video, guys. I hope that you've learned a lot and I hope that you like this video. So, thank you for watching, guys. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.